All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello, Leslie. How are you?
I am great, Miss Joan. How are you today?
I am doing fantastic. I'm alive. I am well. I am up and about. So I think that that deserves a praise, right? That we are
That's,
still breathing, that we are still here.
that's
Um,
right.
as you come in the room, for those of you that are joining us today, or for those of you that are watching the replay, know that you can watch us in three different places: on my Facebook page, in our group, Books to Business and Beyond, and on our YouTube channel at Victorious You Press. So know that those are the three options that you have. Today is the last day to tag, like, and share the broadcast so that you can win an autographed copy of my award winning book, Bags in the Attic. Right. First of all, let me just introduce myself, just in case you're watching me for the first time. I'm Joan T. Randall. I'm the founder of Victorious You Press, the creator of Books to Business and Beyond. We are a boutique publishing company, and we help people write their books, create multiple streams of revenue so that they can build an author brand and leave a legacy for their next generation. And we love the book business, both Leslie and I.
Mm,
So, Leslie, I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce yourself before I get into some of this discussion.
okay. I'm glad to be here this morning. This is Leslie Cottrell, and I'm the COO at Victorious You Press. I'm also an author coach. This is something new that we've brought into the business to help you, to support you in your writing journey. We love the books to business concept, but you have to have the book first. And we want to help you create a book that is just a great piece of work that you can be proud of, that people will just not be able to put down from the time they pick it up. Author coaching, especially for your first time through the process, is a great step to take because we help support you in that journey. We posted a survey months ago in our group that asked, what is stopping you from writing your book? And I think it was 80% of the response was, I don't know where to start. So that really prompted us to get very active in creating programs to do just that, to support you in your writing process. And that's what author coaching does. And then we can take you straight through to having a best-selling book and then creating those multiple streams of income from that book. So we
I
make a pretty good team.
Yes, we do. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, I wanted to share with you that today is the last day to like, tag, and share the broadcast to win an autographed copy of the book. So, over on the YouTube page, if you just happen to be watching from that page, we want you to subscribe, right? And to like and subscribe. And then in the group, we're asking you to tag some friends and to share the broadcast. And on my Facebook page, you can tag someone and you can share the broadcast as well. So far, we have 5 people that are entitled to winning a copy of my book. Tanisha Fair, Tanisha Friar, Friar, Tina Mitchell, Juanita Corey Jackson, Mel McMar, and Dr. Laxley Stevenson. So far, those are the 5 people that we have. There's 3 books that we're giving away. So 3 out of those 5 people will receive an autographed copy of the book. We will be reaching out to you in Messenger so that we can get your mailing address for us to send the book to you. Today, we have an amazing topic, and it's handling criticism and rejection as an author. So this is a great topic that we're going to get into. But before I get there, I also want to give you some updates about some other things that are going on. Are you an author that have struggled with your book promotions and need to establish a book landing page, which means that your book is launched and you did amazing with your book, maybe sold about 200, 300, 400 copies, but now your book is just sitting there and it needs a revival, right? So we want to show you how to revive your book by using Wrote by Me. And Wrote by Me is this author landing page that allows you to keep track of every person that comes to your website that has to do with wanting to purchase your book. And you can connect other, if you have a website already, Wrote by Me will just, fit right into your website, but it allows you to have this specific author page, right? And not only that, it tracks all the insights, where the people are coming from, how many people try to purchase and then did not complete their purchases. So all of the insights so that you can track, and it allows you to get these email addresses so you can add these people to your email list. That's the amazing thing about Wrote by Me, which makes it different from just allowing Amazon or to sell your book, or even on your own website, because sometimes on your own website you don't get the tracking as to where people are coming from and purchasing your book from. So we have a webinar that's coming up in July. We'll give you more details, but we just want to let you know, and we'll be partnering with the founder of Wrote by Me so that you'll hear more about it. But we're giving authors who want to be more involved in their entrepreneurship to use a platform that will help them grow their book business and continue to create legacies and write more books. And then we have the Second Wind Anthology. And I'm going to let Leslie talk a little bit about this. We have the Second Wind Anthology that is coming up. That was our big surprise. That was what we wanted to share with our audience. We're now accepting interested co-authors. And the Second Wind Anthology, I'm going to let Leslie talk about it just for a moment. It is an incredible concept, and I'm so excited about it. In the chat, in the link to this video, there is the interest form. So just click on the link in the video. There's an interest form that you can fill out, and it will tell you when we're doing our interest meeting so that you can be there and just get an understanding of what it is about. So I'm going to turn it over to Leslie to talk a little bit more about what is the Second Wind Anthology.
We're just so excited about this opportunity to collaborate with other women that are of a certain age, that have been through periods in their life that were difficult, challenging. I can't even think of the word it was on the tip of my tongue and then I lost it, but are in periods in their life where they're going through these very traumatic transitions. Yeah. And if you follow Joan and I at all, it's not really any surprise now that both of us had difficult years last year. 2023 was a rough year for both of us. Yeah. And as we talked about that, and we realized that as hard as it was also beautiful. Yeah. Because we felt that we were stripped right down to our essence and had to rebuild so many parts of our lives. And I know Joan will agree with me that we both feel so much richer, so much more stable, so much more spiritually mature than we were before we went through that process. Yeah. And in our conversations about that, we realized there are so many women who have been right where we were. Mm-hmm. And they all have this amazing story to tell. Because it's no small thing to go through such a difficult process at that age and become the better for it. Many women throw up their hands and say, I'm done. I'm out. And they just kind of spend their last few decades kind of under the radar, being quiet. The slow decline, you hear that term a lot. But then there is this other group of women who say, no, not me. And we redesign our lives. And that's what this anthology is all about. We want to hear the stories of women who have made a conscious decision to take times that are difficult and create a new them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like in these latter years, there are women that are just like taking life by storm. They're saying, you know what? I spent all of my, earlier years raising my children, working, my 9 to 5 and doing all of this. Now I'm an empty nester, or now I've kicked cancer, or now, I decided that I'm going to take my own personal health journey. Even me, like, right, I'm on this health kick, right? And lost almost 50 pounds, right? And that is amazing. We see women in their latter years are showing up even more fabulous than they did in their earlier years. So that's what the second wind is all about. In this latter year of life, we are just like taking no prisoners. We don't care what anybody say. We are living our best lives, and we want to write about that. We want to write about how things change, right? Leslie is now a business owner. Not that she wasn't before, but after all of the, difficulty of the past, it's a new her. It's a new me, right? I recently got a divorce. It's a new me, right? Stuff is different, right? So that's what the second wind is about. How women in their latter years are just turning up the heat and the fun and the love and the joy and doing things that they never did in the earlier years. So that's what the second wind anthology is about. So click on the link and, fill out the form, and we will have an interest meeting and more to come on that. And then I just want to plug this. Jesus, Joan, and Journal is coming back. This is something I started January 2020. I did it. So I used to do it every January and every July. I had Jesus, Joan, and Journal. That is where Angie and I connected. And look at what Angie's doing now. Angie is taking the world by storm right now, right? And so many other people that I've connected with that have published books, that have used their books to turn it into business. It all started from Jesus, Joan, and Journal in January of 2020. Amazing, right? And so we're bringing it back this year. I have a really special birthday coming up in July, and I wanted to do some things. I wanted to go to Greece and take picture in the flying dress, but I'm not doing it. Then I wanted to go to Jamaica. Then I changed my mind because I'm thinking, oh my God, I have to spend on my birthday. So you know what? This year, instead of me spending anything for my birthday, I'm just going to give away stuff, right? So I'm giving away one book a day. I've written or been a part of a collaboration of over 14 books. So every day I'll be giving away a book in July at Jesus, Joan, and Journal, right? It's 8 a.m. and you can join me on my Facebook page or on my YouTube channel. And every day somebody is going to win a book, right? Whether it's a journal or my memoir or one of the anthologies, every day someone is going to win a book.
So
all right.
fun.
I know. I'm excited about it. I'm so excited about it. I started planning already the scriptures and all of the stuff around that, because we really are going to be talking about, your mission in the marketplace, right? How to use your gifts in the marketplace, right? So that's kind of what it is. Now, let's get into this topic. We've got 15 minutes, but we have a juicy topic that we want to talk about, right?
Yes.
So this live is titled Handling Criticism and Rejection as an Author. Wow. Let me just share my experience before we get deep into this. So when I first wrote Bags in the Attic, that was my story. It's my story. It's my lived experience. It's what I experienced from a child in Jamaica, coming to the States, all of the stuff. There's a part in the book where I talked about my father and the fact that my father left his wife and his children and literally walked down the road, about a mile down the road, and built a whole nother family, right? It's one town. It's down the street. Like, I don't even know if it's a mile. You could just walk down the street, and he set up shop, home with another woman, and ended up having 2 children with that woman, right? And left his wife down the other street. And there are days when my father and that new woman would walk past our home while my mother sits on the porch. And there's her husband walking by with his new woman, right? They weren't married. It was his mistress, but my dad literally moved out of our home and moved to live with this woman. It is in the book. And so I wrote this book And when I wrote the book and the book got published, I had raving reviews. I mean, raving reviews about the book, except one. So, and then you get the alerts, right? Like when you get the reviews, so you know. So this one review was written on the United Kingdom page, right? Because the book was an international bestseller, so it was sold all over. Someone on the United Kingdom page purchased the book and left a 1-star review. A 1-star review on the United Kingdom page. Because on the US side, everybody else had given it a 5-star. So when I went to read the review, it said that all I was talking about, the person said, oh, this is a book of lies. And that, but it was geared towards this woman that my dad left my mother for. It so happened to be the woman's daughter. It was
Mm.
daughter. So my father had 2 children with her, but she had had 2 daughters before. It was one of her older daughters that purchased the book in London and left a 1-star review about the lies. And I guess it was the lies told about her mother from my perspective, right? And I read it and I just realized that, so I commented, like I
Mm.
respond to the comment and said, this is not a lie. This is my story. This is my experience. And it is what it is, right? How dare you talk about lie when this is you know the truth too, because you were right there. It was your mother. You were right there. So anyway, that was that. So the reason why I'm sharing that is because not everyone is going to buy your book. Not everyone is going to like your book. Not everyone is going to love your book. And not everyone is going to even care about your book. People will go online and leave a review that is negative if they don't like you. They don't even care that you wrote a book.
Yeah.
Somebody will leave a negative review just because they're jealous you wrote a book, right? So we have some tips to share with you as to how to overcome criticism as an author, because you'll get it, and rejection of some people saying this book is crap. I don't want, why did you even write this book? But it is very possible that those things can happen. So Leslie, I'm going to turn it over to you to give some of your tips about that.
Well, I'll tell you, the first thing that I was thinking about is not even related to publishing, but it definitely intersects well with this. In 2016, when I was so ill with my Lyme disease, my brain was, vanilla pudding. And it was really difficult for me to write at that time, which was frustrating because I needed to create as part of my recovery. So I actually really delved into art to the point where I had rented a beautiful studio space. It was absolutely lovely, very romantic setting. And we used to have open studios 5 or 6 times a year. And I used to also have my studio open a lot when I was there working. But during open studios, you would have hundreds of people that were coming through, going to all these different artist studios. And people would come in and look at my artwork. And oh my word, some of the things that they said were so nasty, so hurtful, while simultaneously other people would be going, oh, how did you ever think of that? That is amazing. What is your process? I've not seen that before. And these would be going on at the same time. So you'd be shielding the person who was ripping you up and, having this nice discourse with the next person who loved it. Writing is the same way. Just like Joan said, there are people who will criticize what you've done just because they have their own thing going on. And so how do you know what to listen to? I had a great piece of advice years ago when I was a chef. This gentleman said, when you have one person critique your dish, thank them for their input and move on. When you have 2 people critique that same dish, thank them for their input, and move on. When a third person tells you that there's something askew about this dish, you want to pay attention. I would
Yeah.
give you the same advice to really not just react, which is hard to do because your book is your baby. You're so emotionally attached to it. But spend a moment, take a step back, and is this something I even need to respond to? Does this person have a personal thing against me? Do I need to put any credence in it at all? And if you do so.
Yeah.
Because you learn, you can grow, you'll become a better writer. But pay attention to where it comes from, whether you even need to bother to give it any of your time, any of your energy whatsoever.
I love that. And hey, I just want to say hello to Lashonda M. Laz. She's watching. And Verna is my friend. I published a number of books for Verna, and Verna was in a couple of my anthologies. Verna is a very, very dear friend from Jamaica. We, and Verna has had some health challenges, but boy, she is a fighter.
Mm.
But this is true, and Verna's story is just mind-boggling. But she said it's true. They will say it is not your story. So here are some of the things that I want you to make sure if you're listening today, or if you're listening to me on the replay. Here is how you overcome some of these challenges, right? And I want to give it to you pre the book, right? Pre your writing. Always think about the topic. Make sure the topic is intimate to you. And I'm not talking about people who write memoirs, because when you write a memoir, it's your story, right? It cannot get any more intimate than that. But if you're writing a guidebook, if you're writing a how-to book, if you're writing a devotional, if you're writing a business type book, make sure you know the topic intimately, right? Do your research. Do your due diligence, dive into the topic, dig deep, whatever you need to do. So the topic that that you're writing about is intimate. Why? People will pull it apart. Jealousy is an awful thing, right? And sometimes people are just jealous that you can put author right next to your name, or someone can go into Amazon and type in your name and find your book. Sometimes there is jealousy in terms of how people speak to the reviews on Amazon, right? So know that ahead of time. And like Leslie said, don't let it bother you, right? The second thing is there is a specific audience for your book. Know this. It is not everyone that is going to buy your book. There are people that will not buy it. Your family might not buy your book. Your friends might never buy your book. So you have to understand this thing that I am writing, who am I writing it for? I can't tell you how many times I do discussions or consultation with authors, and I ask that question, who is the audience for this book? And the author says, everyone. No, no, and no. It is not everyone. And I don't care how good your book is, and I don't care how much you think the content is for everyone. It is not. So you have to identify, who am I writing this book to? Who is going to get the most benefit out of this book? And that is why in the publishing world, we call it the ideal reader. There's 3 different types of reader. There is your target reader, there is a niche reader, and there's an ideal reader. You don't want to get it to the target reader because they may never even, right? That's just a big audience. The niche one is someone like, you know what? This, look at all those bells. Look at all those balloons.
Somebody agrees.
I know. This book may be something that I could read, and then I don't know why it does that. And then the third one is the person who needs it now. The ideal reader buys your book immediately. They go online and they see it, they read your description of the book, they read the introduction, and they buy it. That is who you have to understand. Who are they? Why are they buying this book, right? So when you are writing, you got to know your topic intimately and know who needs this book now. That's who you speak to when you do all of your marketing and all of your promotion. Would you agree with me, Leslie?
Absolutely. And so many people say, well, but I'm writing this book for myself. Be very sure about this fact.
Mm-hmm.
When you are writing, you may be writing for yourself. When you're writing to publish, you are no longer writing for yourself. You are writing for that ideal reader, and that's who you want to gear what and how you say to, is to that ideal reader. If you plan on publishing, you are no longer writing for yourself.
That is true. I love that. So, first one is know your topic and know your ideal reader. The second thing is once you're publishing a book, it's no longer yours. You're writing it for the world, right? So, you got to understand that. Here's another thing I want you to realize is that you may have to separate your personal feelings from the professional feeling of being an author, right? You got to be able to understand that. So, this is personal to me, but this is the book. The world is going to judge it. You got to understand that that will happen. The world is going to judge it. So again, if somebody gives you slack or say something negative, get 10 more people to say something positive. That's how you wipe out the negative, right? Because no matter how good the book is, there are chances that there's someone that will give a negative comment. But all you got to do, if for one negative comment, you need 10 positive comment, and it wipes that out completely. Another thing is seek supportive communities and make sure you get a publisher that is supportive. That is so important, right? Now, here's the thing about the publisher. You may say, I want to just publish on my own. I don't want anybody to help me publish. I want to self-publish. That is all well and good. That means you have to have the strong backbone, right, to back it up no matter what, right? And to support the fact that this book is important for who it's needed, for who it needs to get to, right? But when you surround yourself in communities where people are also writers and people are editors and people are publishers, you can get a lot of support that way. So once you start the writing process and once you get your book published, understand that you are not alone. There is thousands, there's millions of people in the same boat with you, whether you are a new author or a seasoned author. Put yourself in some kind of author group so that you get support and feedback and reflection. You may even want to say, hey, you know what? I just wrote a book and I got criticized and some people rejected. How do you think I should handle it? And you would be surprised at the feedback you would get in those groups, right? So wanted to share that with you as well. Anything else from you, Leslie?
Yeah, I think that the support that you get from some sort of writing group. So how do you find that? Well, we have Books, Business, and Beyond, public Facebook group, which is a wonderful resource. There's we have over 2,000 people now, I think, in that group. So there are men and women who are going through the same thing, who will so love and appreciate that you post, because chances are there's 100 more that feel or think the same way and have the same question. There are local writing groups, which are a wonderful way to foster new friendships, to get feedback on what you're doing, to get critique that is worthwhile, that is objective, not subjective. And if you get involved in local writing groups, you have a built-in fan base when your book is published, because I guarantee you, whoever's in that class will be so excited that one of their classmates is publishing, and then you can support them when they publish their book. So it doesn't have to be digital. It can be something live, but surround yourself with other authors that are new and other authors that are seasoned.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think the last thing I have, and I'm going to say this is kind of like a double thing, is develop resilience, right? Here's the thing about writing, you have to be resilient, right? As again, we started by saying that you have to know the content and you have to know your ideal reader, right? Because the target audience is a big market. The niche audience is more defined, but the ideal reader is the person that's going to buy your book immediately, right? So develop a resilience, got to have strong backbone because a book is a business. I don't care what you say to me. I don't care if you said, Joan, all I want to be is an author. You want to make money from it, right? That's a business right there, right? And then there's so many other things you can make or do from the book. Never just stop at the book. Build on the book. What is next? What is next? Build on that book. And it's not only just other books. It could be so many other things than just books that you can build on. You can speak, right? You can have workshops, you can have master classes, you can have webinars, you can have products online. There's so many things. You can speak at churches, you can, so many things, right? That you can do with a book that turns it into a business. And that's our specialty, right? So learn from rejection, develop resilience. And the next one was learn from rejections, right? So somebody said something bad, they criticized you, they rejected the book. To Leslie's point, if it's more than if it's more than one person, right, you may want to pause and say, all right, let me read to see what it is that they have a problem with. They may not even leave that review. They may tell someone who told you, right? The goal is to find out what is in it that would create this kind of this response from more than one people. And at that time, you want to use their feedback to better understand for your next project that you write, right? Because as human beings, we always have an opportunity to evolve and to get better. And sometimes you write the first book, it's second book better, third book great, right? And the more you write is the better understanding you have about your audience. What do they like to hear? What comes across the page that is relatable and they feel aligned to the project, to the book. So just be resilient and just take whatever feedback that might be kind of negative, and then just make the adjustments on the next book that you write. That's all I have. Leslie, how do you want to end this, finish this up?
That's just so great. Always keeping in mind that we can, if we choose, learn and grow from everything.
Yeah.
But the overwhelming theme of today that we want to convey to you is to not be discouraged, not throw up your hands and step away from writing because you have a bad review, because you have someone that critiques you harshly. That it's a part of life. We get criticized no matter what we do. So if it's something that doesn't matter, let it go, move on. If it's something you can learn from, take a deep breath, learn and grow. But don't stop writing.
Don't stop writing. And remember, writing creates an indelible moment in time that can never be erased. They cannot take it from you. The
That's
fact
right.
that you are an author. I saw a quote today. I don't know if it's a quote or it was somebody who just wrote this, but I thought it was so profound. She said that the spoken word is powerful, but the written word is everlasting.
Woo!
I'm like, what? The spoken word is powerful, but the written word is everlasting. Truth, truth,
Yes.
truth, truth.
Amen.
Right? Truth, truth, truth. Right? So keep writing. God bless you all. Join us next week. And we will, again, if you tag, like, and share this broadcast, we are giving away an autographed copy of my award-winning book, Bags in the Attic. So if you tag this, tag some friends, like it, and share it, you will be in the running to get one of those copy of the autographed book, Bags in the Attic, which is my personal story of overcoming domestic violence. So God bless you. We'll see you, and we'll see you next week, Monday. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Happy holiday. Bye.